PharmAust's is a clinical stage company developing therapeutics for both human and animals, targeting cancer and neurodegenerative diseases. The company specializes in repurposing marketed drugs, lowering the risks and costs of development. PharmAust's has two development programs, an animal health and veterinary program for the treatment of B-cell lymphoma in dogs, and a human health rare disease program for the treatment of motor neurone disease. We just completed a phase 2 study in B-cell lymphoma in dogs, and the aim of that study was to determine a clinically safe and effective dosing regime of monopentol for B-cell lymphomas to move forward into registration studies for that particular application indication for monopentol. And what we found was that even in this fragile population of dogs, treatment of monopentol across a number of dose levels was safe, was well tolerated, and there was no treatment-related deaths or severe adverse reactions. And importantly, it slowed down the progression of the tumour, and the median time to progression was 28 days, which compares very favourably to the most recent drug that was approved for B-cell and T-cell lymphoma in dogs, Laverdia. So that's a fantastic result. What really excites us, though, is that this treatment approach of using monopentol is somewhat of a new paradigm. The way that you use monopentol in dogs results in a higher or an excellent quality of life and level of function. Most dogs that have B-cell lymphoma, they're generally treated with cytotoxic drugs, and those cytotoxic drugs normally cause a lot of side effects in the animals, and the majority of them experience a lower quality of life and a much lower level of function when they're in those cytotoxic drugs. Disease program that we have at PharmAust's is really our flagship program, and motor neurone disease is a devastating rare disease that affects the motor neurons in the brain and spinal cord and is invariably fatal. We recently announced an important milestone for our motor neurone disease phase 1 clinical study. We have completed dosing, and what we know from the results that we've gathered to date is that the treatment with monopentol at high doses is safe and well tolerated in a vulnerable patient population like motor neurone disease, and there's no safety concerns when treating patients with monopentol, particularly over an extended period of time. One aspect of the study that is particularly encouraging is that there's been a number of patients that have been on the drug for 12 months now without any safety signals. But most of those patients that have been enrolled in that study, it's been about 2 years since their diagnosis with motor neurone disease. So remembering the average life expectancy for these patients is approximately 27 months. So this is a fantastic result and something that we're very proud of. Also, the investigators that are leading the study, they're taking note of this result, and obviously the patients themselves, they're very encouraged by this result, given that there's very little out there available for the treatment of motor neurone disease. Motor neurone disease is a rare disease, and over the last 5 years, 50% of the drugs that have been approved by the FDA have been for rare disease, and there's a clear opportunity here for the company, for its program in motor neurone disease. That clear opportunity is that on the basis of that huge number of drugs that have been approved by the FDA, Big Pharma are turning in droves towards rare diseases. So we're in a very good position at the moment. We're not very far away from having the final results available from our motor neurone disease study, our phase 1 study. We've got a huge opportunity then to take those results to Big Pharma and look for a potential partnership, a potential licensing deal, potentially an acquisition. There's a really good opportunity here for PharmAust's once we release the results, the top line results from our phase 1 study, to go out, canvass all these big pharmaceutical companies for their interest in our M&D program. And who knows, we may be able to strike a deal, a development deal, a licensing deal, or potentially the company may well be acquired.